Welcome to another episode of Replay Roundup. I'm Iksta, and today I am joined once again by Mr. Keyhand. How are you doing today, sir?
Pretty good, thank you. I am very interested in today's replay because I'll probably be able to take away a thing or two from it, because personally, the STB, not really my favorite tier 10 medium tank, simply because, well, basically you can't side scrape with it. It doesn't really have a lot of side armor, and personally, the hydropneumatic suspension, I'm not the biggest fan of it. However, it does have very, very good DPM, and if you can make the armor work, there's a lot of good things that you can do with it.
Personally, it's one of my favorite tier 10s, especially in terms of mediums. It's probably one of my favorite mediums across all tiers in general. While the turret does have its upsides, it can be penned quite often by heat rounds through the gun mantle. So we'll have to see how our protagonist does in this replay, but let's head straight into the replay and see what he does.
All right, so we are spawning on what seems like live oaks to me, and
yep, that is
Mr.
Live Oaks,
Mr. I guess we call him Kite, is going straight towards the southeastern part of the map here. You can see no HE. That is a choice and a half, because sometimes those HE shells can come in handy, but we'll see. Full tier 10 matchmaking, no RT1 scout each side, and he does have a lot of tanks coming towards that southern side to support him, so potential for aggressive plays. We'll see what he decides to do.
Definitely a lot of heat rounds here, to be fair. I know a lot of people have choice words about premium ammunition. Personally, I don't mind it. It costs credits now, and if you have the credits to spend, then why not, I guess. And, you know, heat rounds do have their advantages over AP rounds, but that's not to say AP rounds doesn't have their advantage over heat rounds, and that's why we also see him carrying a few AP rounds. So we'll have to see how this goes. Going straight into the water, straight across, being extremely aggressive here. I'm not a fan of being this aggressive very early on, but we see him considering going to the right where the M60 is, but then he decides against it. There's already an M60 there and also a 1-2-1, and there's not many tanks in the bowl for him to counter. And here we go, he's going to start making a peek, trying to take a shot at the enemy STB-1, but it doesn't quite connect. Unfortunate turn of events, trying to take a blind fire at the grill, but we see a shell explosion there, so I assume it did not connect. And now going for the STB-1 again. That one does connect. 3-4-3 already into the bank.
I mean, yeah, he did go very aggressive. Then again, there were a lot of tanks that had already pushed before him, so trying to stay back wouldn't really have resulted in a lot of damage here. And now we can see him. Oh, beautiful snapshot into that STB-1. Gotta give it to him. Now, there is the Gorilla unspotted in the background, and he does spot out the 1-2-1 here, so 425, not the worst of rolls, especially for a gun with 360 alpha, and the quick reload is gonna ensure that he gets another one with a fire even, and the Gorilla does not penetrate the turret, and wow, he just throws those shots over the the 1-2-1, sorry, just melted.
Just the 1-2-1, yeah. This is where I'd like to see a few HE rounds on a grill, honestly. Like, the amount of damage you'd be getting here with the DPM you have already is insane. By the way, I'd like to highlight that this team of his, instead of just all piling up here, a lot of them actually just went straight for this push here, which is a really potent position to deal with anyone chilling back here and here. And it also allows you to get a couple of spots into people back here, which is more or less what we see here. Like, look at this huge cluster of teammates here. They've taken map control really quickly, but at what cost? Because they've already lost the 1-2 line, and they can get countered from this area, so they need to be careful. We already see tanks trickling down into the spawn. So Kite in the STB-1 has already made his way back into a position to start farming with 2 kills already to his name and now 2.3k damage, and it looks like he's going to be relentless. He is not stopping. He puts a second one into the IS-4, and he is moving ever so closer to the base after each shot. Third shell into the IS-4. This IS-4 is probably not having a great day right now, probably regretting his decision, and a tracking shot by the VZ.
Yeah, gets a tiny bit lucky here. Another shot in the IS-4 is going to put that one on one shot. So beautiful use of the DPM here. That is really the bread and butter, basically, of that STB. By the way, the beautiful camo here from the Battle Pass. It's sort of orcish themed. You'll love to see it. And now you can see that all of the tanks that you mentioned previously in the D and E89 area, they have sort of made their way back, because as soon as the enemies advance through the 3 and 4 line down towards the south, then you're sort of open there. And he does put a bounce into that VZ, but I think that was the second shot from the VZ here that previously only took his track, and that's why we see him repick this so aggressively. Tracking shot, the VZ had to use his rep kit, but now from the side comes the 907 that immediately takes another heat round, so a very, very good aim here.
Indeed.
And also awareness.
Good situational awareness. Yes, indeed. And now we see him trying to deal with this 9-0. There is someone in the cap circle now. I believe it's either the V4 or the E100. So we're going to have to see how this plays out. The 121B is going aggressive. There's the V4. We know it's going to be the E100 in the cap circle, probably. 121B is being aggressive. So Kite is taking advantage of this and going with him, looking for the cross shots on the VZ, who is also getting peppered from the 50B potentially by the looks of it, and is down to a one shot now and should hopefully be going down any second now. There we go, picks up the kill for 101 damage. That's what you love to see, but only 50 seconds on the cap and a full health, well, almost full health V4 and a 907 who isn't necessarily going to be the easiest to kill with a V4 covering him. So we'll have to see how this goes. And now aiming for the cupola shot, there's one 317 to the V4. He's not going to be too happy about that. There's the E100 in the cap circle. We see that things on the other end aren't looking too great as the 277 goes down, and now it's just an E5 and Leo looks like someone gets a resetting shot into the E100, which buys him a tiny bit more time. Now he's going to go for another cupola shot on the V4, and it connects. Wonderful aim there. And now the V4 has decided he's had enough of this, and he's going to try and reposition a bit.
Yeah, the V4 here now driving towards that 907 to potentially get a bit of cover. The 50B with another nice shot here. And the E100 in the cap is not moving as of now. So he has time to aim a heat round into the turret. Does get another reset. And now he probably wants to help his buddy in the 121B here. That is going in. Beautiful shot into the 26A4. But take a look at the ammunition right now. Only two heat rounds remaining. Make that one. He does put another one into the lower plate of the E100. And now, once again, that DPM from the STB just coming in clutch, just shot after shot after shot into that lower plate. And if you have the weak spots exposed like that, and now even with the AP ammo, you're able to penetrate, get that tracking shot in together with the 121B, just tag teaming that E100 down to a one shot here, is probably thinking that the E100 will get finished by the 121B, but the opposite happens. The E100 actually finishing off the 121B, now trying to flank that 2684 here, does try to get the track shot, is not successful. Right. Oh,
you
my
see him
goodness.
like dive to the right and then dive to the left. Wonderful play there. Here comes the 50B. The 50B is going to try and go for the reset by the looks of it. And our hero here, Kite, is just going to keep DPMing the heck out of this V4. And this V4 is not having a nice day. Gets his track up. Oh, is he going to take a hit here? He does, but down goes the V4. You hate to see those trades. E100 looking at Kite. So Kite decides to hide, let the 50B take the hit. Kind of throws his buddy under the bus there, but hey, you know, you got to do what you got to do in a random battle, I guess. And now he's going to go for the E100. This is where ideally you want to have a few of those heat rounds, but hey, he manages to pick it up in the lower plate, and that puts him on 9.7k damage with 6 kills. Wonderful shooting, I have to say, and almost a moment where, like, not a moment where he wasn't firing his gun. So let's take a look at the endgame stats and see how he did in comparison to everyone else.
Yeah, 9.7k damage, 6 kills, and also, yeah, that's going to secure him the ace tanker. Then he's going to get the defender, obviously, for resetting that E100 multiple times, the high caliber with 9.7k. I mean, some people would say not even 10k, but to be honest, commendable effort together with the top gun. We can see him just, yeah, over or almost 5k HP, more damage dealt than anyone else in his team. 44 shots fired, 33 connected, and out of those 33, 30 actually penetrated. So that is a really, really good result for the STB-1. Yeah, he was, as you mentioned, he was just able to continuously keep the DPM of his gun in the game, and that is just what makes or breaks that STB, right? The tank, it just wants to get those continuous shots on the enemies, and as soon as you're able to do that, yeah, you can just see STB-1 pretty good at dealing damage via DPM.
Indeed, superb performance by the STB. And honestly, this comes down completely to positioning, awareness of your surroundings and what's going on the map, as well as decent aim, which, you know, I lack. So, hey, that being said, wonderful gameplay, 1.6k base XP, and, you know, stunning performance. Once again, ace tanker. That being said, we hope you enjoyed this episode of Replay Roundup. Let us know what you think of the gameplay and what you might have done differently in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like it, and don't forget to subscribe for more future content. I'm Iksta, I'm joined by Keyhand. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and we will see you in the next one.